everybody. Good morning and good afternoon. This is Mike Howard with the Telecom Expert on the line with my business partner, Kerry Duke. How are you?
Doing really good, Mike. Excited to talk with Robert Brown of YipTel today.
Absolutely. And on the line, we have the privilege to have Robert Brown from YipTel in Salt Lake City. We have a great interview series set up for today, so let's just get right to it. And Robert, welcome. How are you doing today?
Doing great, guys. Thanks a lot for having me on today. Appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is going to be really exciting. We're going to talk about something a little bit different than usual because, you know, what we've learned about YipTel is you are definitely on the leading edge of technology and solutions. So we're going to delve right into this great offering that you offer there with YipTel. So let's talk a little bit about what the heck is this telehealth solution that you offer to the medical field?
Yeah, telehealth is a great and amazing exploding industry. You know, as we look at so many different types of healthcare and changes that are going on throughout the country, one of the biggest things that medical practices, doctors are looking for is how to innovate, how to bring those costs down, how to provide higher levels of service to their patients. And one of the great ways that we can do that is through our telemedical products that we deliver as a hosted provider from the cloud. So some of those being, for example, you know, delivering voice over IP phone systems for the medical industry. You know, as everybody, a lot of the companies and clients throughout the country are transitioning from on-premise solutions, they want to transfer those now to the cloud. Well, in the medical industry, we have a whole different subset of issues and constraints and problems that come up because of that concept or that term that is probably very common out there, the HIPAA compliance and being HIPAA compliant, meaning that now we're talking about people and their lives and their medical histories and all of those types of things, so we have to make sure that that's very secure and that there's no access for anybody to be able to have access into those calls or those conversations. And so our products that we deliver to the medical industry are fully secure and HIPAA compliant from end to end and run an encryption on those phone calls to be able to make sure that we can guarantee that those are going to be safe and secure in between the doctors and patients. Another piece of our telemedical product line that we deliver is also faxing. Now I know, people think that faxing is just that technology that's going away, but I promise in many industries it just isn't. But again, we want to innovate on that. Instead of having to have a physical fax machine, we can run with electronic faxing, so we send and receive electronically is one way, or for those that still want that device, we can put a device right there, plug the fax machine directly into it, it receives and then transmits those in a HIPAA compliant manner. So, we're not streaming them across the internet. It's a very unique and, of course, much more cost-effective solution than traditional analog lines have been. The third, and to me, probably the most exciting part of our telemedical product is the fact that we are delivering a HIPAA-compliant video solution so that within the practice, now I can have those personal client interactions. There's lots of applications that I'm sure we'll talk about today, but it's a HIPAA-compliant video solution for the medical industry, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Really going to change the way healthcare over the next few years.
Well, I tell you what, that's pretty exciting stuff, Robert. The fact that you're able to basically take this HIPAA compliance issue and create a whole new market for yourself is awesome.
Yeah, we're really excited about the products and solutions and just how it's really going to change that medical industry. There's so much flexibility and capabilities that we're going to deliver. We're really thrilled about it.
Well, this leads to the question about how is the YipTel telehealth product actually different than what's currently available?
Well, what's interesting is that I think with the advent of voice over IP, a lot of organizations, medical organizations, have thought, oh, well, that's a great way to go. Let's move to that voice over IP solution. What I think some of them haven't realized is that when you're going voice over IP, you're now sending those calls across the internet. And the majority of voice over IP providers out there in the market today are not securing or encrypting their traffic across that internet connection. So that becomes a very big issue, and certainly is not HIPAA compliant. So you look at all kinds of different VoIP providers, there's only a few of us in the market even that are actually secure and deliver an end-to-end encryption on that phone call. So I think those that are out there that have non-compliant, they probably don't even realize, oh, I just thought we could go with voice over IP and I thought it was secure. But one of the things I would really check is for those organizations that are out there, I'd call your providers and figure out if they are HIPAA compliant and can give you the documentation that certifies that. Because if not, I'd really be looking to investigate some other options. And I just happen to know a few, but it's really you've got to make sure that your organization is covered, and voice over IP is one that I think a lot of people have probably haven't thought about. Oh, I've got to make sure that that's HIPAA compliant as well.
Okay, you said something here that I want to follow up on for any of the medical offices, staff, whoever's responsible for this issue. And that is the fact that you can actually get some type of certification that your network is HIPAA compliant?
Yeah, so our team goes through, and there's all kinds of regulations and specifications on exactly how you do that. And so our team hires companies, and they come in and certify that YipTel is a HIPAA compliant provider. They do penetration testing. They do all kinds of different things to make sure and guarantee that our network is secure. So it's a big process. It takes a lot of work to make sure that we maintain that, but that's exactly what we do so that the doctors and practices, hospitals, they don't have to worry about those pieces, which also takes a huge workload really off of their IT staff, is that now those types of pieces, those are guaranteed, those are secure, those have been resolved by us, and they can focus on the other things that they need to do. So it's a great partnership and works really well.
The one thing I haven't heard you mention, and without getting specific, because every piece of equipment that you work with, or in any individual office that you work with, is probably going to have a different application or cost associated with this. But generally, this sounds like an expensive process. How are you fitting into the marketplace in terms of price and value? Is this like something that is what you're offering is less than what's currently available, more than currently available? How do you fit into that overall price structure?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I'm glad you brought that up, because video conferencing, HIPAA compliant video conferencing, being able to do that has only really been available to the larger hospitals and organizations where they had private networks and they physically purchased all of the video technologies and applications and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars implementing these technologies so that they could use them. Video conferencing has been extremely expensive. Conference rooms and all of those things and bridges and all of that type of technology. So what we did is we said, okay, we'll invest the millions of dollars that it takes to create this solution. We'll take all of that and we'll create that and now provide it on a low cost on a monthly basis out to these different practitioners. So now, that doctor that's a single doctor in his office or her office, they can sit there and now for a few $100s a month subscribe to a service that now delivers that product that would have been hundreds or even up to millions of dollars for them to try to deploy. Now they have a very cost-effective, simple, and easy-to-use application that now can connect them to their clients. It's a phenomenal solution. So we've seen the market go from only a few large medical facilities that could implement something like this, now down to every individual doctor, client, clinic. It's very simple and easy for them to implement something like this.
That is truly fantastic. That, if I was in that field, I'd definitely be looking for a solution as you described. So let's talk about some of the applications and some of, where are the doctors and medical clinics using this YipTel telehealth video conferencing product?
Yeah, in the industry, just to give you a few ideas and concepts, we're seeing it across the board because it's so cost effective. Now, even just for making that relationship, relationships in business or in that medical industry, they want that relationship with their doctor, their practitioner. They need to connect, and video completely transforms that from just making a standard phone call to a video call. Completely changes and allows them to build those relationships with their clients, number one. But in addition to that, the applications from that clinic or that doctor's office now come in as before. If I'm a doctor and I pick up the phone and call you, Carrie, I'm not going to be able to prescribe some solution to you because I haven't met with you. I hadn't had that personal, what they call a personal interaction within the medical field. So I haven't been able to do that. So I can't help you, I can't prescribe, I can't do any of those types of things. And so what changes is when we allow them, so kind of the way it works, just to step back a little, is the doctor goes in or his staff and sends out a link, and I grab my phone or my device, my phone, my Droid, my iPad, my laptop, and it sends a link out to me. I click on that link as the patient, and it now downloads a little piece of software onto my machine that fully encrypts our conversation, uses the webcam that's already on the device that you have, and now we're face-to-face in a personal doctor-client interaction that now in many applications, and obviously they need to see who their providers are, and state by state these laws and rules change, but in most applications now that becomes a billable event for the doctors, but on the other side for the patient, now I didn't have to drive that 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 3 hours to go see my doctor or specialist. Now for me, I just created that ease and convenience and that ability. Maybe the person can't get out of bed, but they need to see somebody and talk to somebody. It's all kinds of different applications. I'll give you an example. So we met just a couple days ago with a company that provides home health care. And one of the ways that they implement the technology within their business is that they go out and they actually put an iPad, each one of their clients has an iPad at home. And that iPad or that device monitors on a daily basis all of their vitals and communicates back so that they can see and know exactly what's going on with those patients. One of the things they can't do, though, right now is they can't, again, prescribe to them. In order to do that, they have to drive somebody to each one of their homes and each one of those locations, and it takes an amazing amount of time and effort to be able to help them with changing. Maybe they just see that they need to monitor meds or those types of things. Now what happens is we send out that link. They already have that device right in their hand. Now they can simply meet with their doctor on a daily, weekly, whatever that needs to be. But now with that personal interaction, that doctor has the ability to change those medications and see what's going on. And so that's how it's just dramatically changing the whole healthcare industry, because now we have that ability to create those secure connections in that HIPAA compliant environment. All that's there. But now we have all kinds of applications that these guys can use this product for. Not only that, other things like training, staff training, bringing them together. People are in the office, out of the office, wherever they may be. Now they all join on these video conference training phone calls. Now the doctor can review with other doctors. They can review the patient and the client information and see the charts and the graphs, because you can not only see video, but you can share the content that you're seeing and say, hey, here's what I'm seeing, here's what's going on, and work in a collaborative method. So, there's just, I could go on for hours telling you all the different applications, but hopefully that gives you kind of a brief overview of why we're so excited about the product and what it's doing for the industry.
That is absolutely just exciting. That's just exciting technology. So much going on, especially with the Affordable Care Act, coming into play now too. I'm excited for you to be able to offer this type of a solution to customers. And doctors have it so hard now with all the constraints that they have and costs and that. You're actually providing a service. Not only is the technology great, but you're making it somewhat more affordable and letting them drive more profit without having to increase the cost to their patients, which is obviously what we all want to do, supporting our customers. But let's talk a little bit about, with the advent of new technology, I've seen through the years that there's always an opportunity for grants to play a role here, and I'm positive that with the advent of this technology, with HIPAA compliant video and video conferencing, that there's a can you talk a little bit about what can a practice or a practitioner do as it relates to possibly offsetting some of this cost through implementing a grant in the process?
Yeah, that's a great question, because a solution like this can be as simple as a web login. There's no hardware, there's no equipment, it's just logging into the web, sending out those links, and connecting. But in larger organizations, it can be much more sophisticated, where maybe we want in the conference rooms or training centers, we want larger video conference rooms with larger screens and higher definition, and training centers and administrative. Maybe we want to tie those in. Obviously, in our solution, we tie those in with the phones that go on the desk. So you've got a video phone on the desk. You've got video applications on your desktop. Conference rooms that now we want to tie in. So in some of those applications, there's actual physical hardware that you may want to design or deploy within your organization. And as you mentioned, right now, there's huge amounts of money that are available out there in ways of grants for these medical institutions to be able to help fund the costs. In fact, in many of them, they'll fund a large majority of the cost of that equipment to deploy those types of solutions, especially in the rural environments. As you're trying to get out into those, they're really trying to push this, because your doctor may be 4, 5, 6 hours away, but if you've got an internet connection and now can connect, that's how we can really dramatically change the level of care out within these locations. So yeah, there's a lot of grants and money that's available, and as YipTel, one of the things that we try to help those organizations do is find that money, find those applications. So we have lists of those. We have people that help you to secure those grants, and so that's a big part of our process for those types of organizations. As we design the solution, this can come from the cloud, but if you're an organization of such size that you'd rather and you'd prefer to put it in-house and purchase the equipment, then there's lots of ways we can help to get grants and funding for those in either deployments, either coming from the cloud or doing it on-site and on-premise. So whatever the right solution is, YipTel works with our clients to figure those applications out, and then we'll design the right product according to those needs.
Okay, stop the bus. We've got a problem. So you're telling me, Robert, you're telling me that not only does YipTel offer the leading technology for medical offices, state-of-the-art, HIPAA-compliant video conferencing, not only do you do all that, and you do it very effectively and cost effectively, but you're also going to show and help the medical practice how to actually have that solution partially paid for as well. Did I hear that right?
That's right. In many, many applications, obviously grants are such that you have to apply. And
Sure.
so we have to apply and we have to get funding and go through that entire process. And it takes longer. So for those organizations, though, that are looking to do that and serious about it, we will help them through that entire process. We have lists of all the places that are providing funding. We can help them get those types of things done and help design the right solution so that we can meet the needs of those clients. So it is. Stop the bus and let's get rolling.
Right. In fact, I'm looking at the screen right. It's 1-800-752-6110. Call now. That is just amazing. That is so cool to see that you can do that. You know, a lot of times with this technology, we just see it out there, and all that a business owner sees is these dollar signs just flying by. You know, as people like you and I talk about innovation and about all that, you know, I think a lot of times these businesses, they kind of mute us out, and all they see is just dollars just flying around. And it's really comforting and exciting that you not only can you provide the technology and the innovation, but you also are seeing it from both sides, and you know that there are mechanisms in which that they can pursue, not that they'll be successful or not, but at least you're giving them that opportunity and helping them possibly secure funding for a solution that's going to help ultimately the community that they serve.
Exactly. Yep.
Wow.
We're really excited. It's a great solution.
That's super. That is super. So let's get this bus rolling. The last question for today is, we talked a lot about the video conferencing, you know, the HIPAA compliance and that, and that's really great as far as the medical field, and you know, obviously that's what this segment has been on. But I'd like to just transverse a little bit to the video, because you know, when we talk about hosted voice over IP solutions, and then you talk about video conferencing, traditionally the majority of providers out there, like ourselves, and I think you do the same as well, Robert, at YipTel, is we provide premise-based solutions and hardware solutions for that. But it is a little bit less frequent that a hosted voice over IP provider can also provide video conferencing in a hosted model. Can you talk about, outside of the medical field, where would other applications for video conferencing, where would you see those? What have some of your experiences been?
Yeah, so in comparison to some of the other products, I guess, that are out there, one of the things that you brought up was that, you know, there's only a few of the providers that are out there that are delivering video solutions. But even within those, most of those are very limited. For example, they may be providing some type of product that's a web-based product, but it doesn't tie into the application that they put on the desktop that works with their system. It may not tie into the video phone that's sitting there on the desk. It most likely does not tie into the video conferencing system that's in the conference room. And so it's mostly kind of a web-based solution. What's unique about YipTel is our ability to tie in all those different products, and we do it in a standards-based SIP environment. And what that really means to the client is that they may be connecting with somebody that's running, you know, Cisco Telepresence, and the next guy's running LifeSites, and this guy's running Polycom, and this one's running, you know, some desktop application. The beauty of the YipTel platform is that we are SIP standard, and across the board we can leverage and bring in all these different types of technologies. The next thing that's very also unique, though, about us is obviously we talked a lot about security, and most of the video solutions, just like the voice over IP phones that people put in, are not secure. They're just going across the internet. They're not in an encrypted format. So we're looking, and our best targets and clients that tend to come to us are those that are looking for highly secure video in high definition, but they're really they're very conscientious about the security that they're running. And that's why they want a solution that's seamlessly integrated between the phone on the desk and all these applications that they can use video on. They want to make sure that wherever that video goes, that it's secure, it's from one company, and that we're securing it from end to end. So we see a lot with like banks. You know, banks obviously have to be extremely secure, but they have lots of different branches and want to connect with those clients, and so banks traditionally have huge video conferencing needs and applications. We see it a lot in law firms as they're doing their different depositions and all the different things that those law firms do, meeting with their clients and attorneys, and instead of flying them out, you know, across the country, now let's just get on a highly secure video call in between us. And now, where it used to be really hard, that's as easy as sending out a video link, sending out that email link, and boom, they click on it, and that downloads and connects them. So certainly across all kinds of different industries. In addition to that, general business, larger scale organizations, the ROIs on video conferencing come very quickly when you're not flying somebody out from city to city to host those meetings. The ROIs are just phenomenal. There's a whole list, and we can help our clients, determine those. But video conferencing, especially now, it used to pay for itself even when the equipment was horrendously expensive because it would reduce all those other costs. But now that it's really cost-effective, a few $100s a month for an organization to be able to connect in a secure manner and bring in people and multi-party video. It's now the ultimate no-brainer, if you ask me.
Absolutely, and a good example of that is what we're doing right here, right now. I mean, you're in Salt Lake City, I'm right outside of Washington, D.C., and Carrie is in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're effectively having a great, communications, and we're actually sharing this in a format that people across the world can actually benefit from the information that we're providing. So there is a place for video, and I 100% agree. And as far as the cost, like when we do, conference room blowouts for a video conferencing, you're talking $20,000, $30,000, and it is cost effective when you compare it to how many times a month or a year that you send individuals across the world to conduct business, when it could really be done in a half-hour, video conference. Multiply that through, and your ROI usually is there if you have that type of application. So that's the hard cost. But then the personal, I'm able to see you. You're able to see that I'm in summer attire. I'm ready for the weekend. We can't do that kind of stuff over the telephone. So, as always, and Carrie, please join in here. We love having you on these interviews. Your experience and your innovation and what you provide is absolutely priceless. And I am sure from everything you discussed today that there are local medical practices and businesses, and when I said local, I actually mean national, that would like to reach out to you. So go ahead, this is your opportunity. Give your website, your phone number, and let people go ahead and contact you. What's the best way for them to reach you, Robert?
Yeah, there's a couple ways they can certainly reach out to us on our website, which is YipTel.com, which stands for Your IP Telephone. You can reach us there, or you can also reach us on the phone at 1-800-752-6110.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robert. Until next time, have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks. See you soon, guys.